Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for October 27th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. I know a lot of people are probably still fixated and focused on the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. I know that our streams and whatever's happening in the world of pro wrestling right now has taken a back seat in the back of the class. So we'll try and get through this in a very timely fashion. Monday Night Raw wasn't all that exciting. If you were looking for some major storyline progression, if you were looking for some big angle, we didn't get it. Like I said in the intro, WWE set the table for Saturday night's main event in Salt Lake City. That's all that they did. Everything is on the table. Everything is set and ready to go. And then the month of November is going to be a big one. We have 2 John Cena appearances, one in Boston and one in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Survivor Series. Survivor Series itself is going to be a big deal. I hope. And then 2 weeks after that, John Cena is, or 3 weeks, John Cena is retiring. Last match ever. The month of November is going to be a big deal. We got 3 John Cena appearances, 3 John Cena matches, hopefully. But WWE tonight didn't really do much to add on top of Saturday night's main event. We didn't see Cody Rhodes. He was supposed to be advertised tonight, or at least was advertised up until this afternoon. I don't know what had happened there. Maybe it was a false advertisement. Maybe he's working a dark match. I don't know why that was making the news this afternoon. I thought that something would be going down with him on the show. Show could have used him for sure. But like I said, the table is set. There wasn't really much for WWE to do as far as Saturday night's main event. The big deal tonight was the wrestling. The pro wrestling on tonight's show was really good. Probably some of the best pro wrestling on a Monday night that we've seen all year. We got some bangers tonight. We got Sheamus and JD McDonagh, which ultimately doesn't mean anything. But Sheamus is on this thing where he is on his never retirement tour, or never going to retire tour. I wish we could preserve Sheamus and cryogenically freeze Sheamus so that when I'm old and gray, I could still watch Sheamus wrestle because he's fucking great. JD McDonagh and Sheamus put on a banger. Not much there, but it leads into next week's Raw where JD McDonagh wanted to prove a point to Adam Pearce that the Judgment Day deserves another Raw Tag Team title match, and that is coming next week against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Speaking of Tag Team Championships, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, they wrestle Bayley and Lyra Valkryia. Now, WWE is doing whatever they can to keep this division. It's not really a division. They want to pretend it's a division. But it's not really a division. There are just teams that are just thrown together, and WWE has slapped the label of division on it. There's no women's tag team division. Regardless of that, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss work very good as a tag team. They were in there against probably 2 of the best opponents that they could ask for in Bayley and Lyra Valkryia. That was a great main event. Sloppy. Lyra got her hair stuck on Alexa Bliss's outfit, but other than that, I thought it was a great main event. What does it mean at the end of the day? I don't know. Do we see a lot of these women that we saw tonight inside War Games? Probably yes. We'll talk about that as we predicted what the Women's War Games match is going to be in San Diego. Again, the only thing I could think of as far as that is WWE is setting us up for some sort of conglomeration of women on Monday Night Raw to fit into the Women's War Games at Survivor Series. We talked about who I think that will be a few weeks ago. We'll reiterate that again here tonight on the post show. We had Rusev and Penta. They went one-on-one for the Intercontinental Championship #1 contender. Dominik is the Intercontinental Champion. Obviously, the Judgment Day and Dominik are at each other's throats. Dominik is not really in favor, or he's not really looked at as favorable from the rest of the Judgment Day. He is very much in the doghouse. So he sought help from El Grande Americano and Los Americanos. So those are his backup. Those are his boys. He got those boys involved because he doesn't want to wrestle either Rusev or Penta because he's afraid to lose the championship. And just like we said a couple of weeks ago, it was looking like it would be a triple threat match where we didn't know. Now we know. So Dominik Mysterio and the Intercontinental Championship title picture was forwarded at least tonight until Saturday night's main event. And we have a triple threat match on the horizon with Dominik defending the IC title against Rusev and Penta. So again, not much there. You kind of saw that coming. If you watched the show, you knew exactly where they were going. And then we got CM Punk. CM Punk and Jey Uso, the vacant World Heavyweight Championship was very much on display tonight. They wanted you to be fixated on what is on the line this Saturday. I don't really know what else I can say outside of what I said the last time I spoke about Punk and Jey Uso. Spoke about this last week. Spoke about it on TNT with Solid Monster on Tuesday. The World Heavyweight Championship is on the line. It's either going to be Punk or Jey Uso, and I hope neither one of them walk out with the championship. That's what I hope. I hope there is no new World Heavyweight Champion. I hope neither Punk or Jey Uso are the World Heavyweight Champion. And I hope that the title is very much still vacant going into Survivor Series. Very much still vacant. We'll talk about that and why when I talk about the opening segment, because CM Punk is getting Jey Uso on Saturday night, and they had a face-to-face in the open of Raw. Again, not much as far as story took place tonight on Monday Night Raw, but we'll try and navigate the best that we can tonight. Man, I wasn't feeling my best today. If you guys see my post earlier today, I had to give up 4 of the 6 kittens that I had taken in for foster about 2.5 months ago. Had them upstairs in the guest room, gave them that whole room to just tear apart. And I'll tell you what, man, if you are one that fosters kittens, it is heartbreaking to let them go. So I'm kind of in the feels tonight. I'm not really feeling my best. I very much got emotional seeing them leave today and having to put them in their crates and say goodbye to them. But we had a beautiful family of 5 kittens and the mother. And 3 of the kittens and the mother had to go today. So the mother got adopted. And the kittens got adopted. And they were all going to get spayed and neutered today. And then go to their new homes. So, fostering is a great thing. It is such a beautiful thing. But man, is it heartbreaking to watch them grow up from basically little runts. They're as big as the size of my mouse. And to see them grow up, and they have no other human interaction but you. And when you walk into the room, they rush up to you and they greet you and they meow at you and they know who you are. And then all of a sudden it's not there no more. So I still have two of the babies. I have two of the girls. I have a calico and I have a black and white one. The calico I named Ivy. We named them after Batman characters. It's very much what I wanted to do. So I named them after Batman characters. Ivy for Poison Ivy. And then funny enough is I thought the black and white one was a boy. So I named the boy Ozzy because of Oswald, the penguin. And I take it to the vet because it got a little cold. And the vet tells me that it's a girl. So I'm looking at the receptionist and I'm like, should I change the name now that I named it Ozzy? It doesn't make any sense now. I don't want to rename it. And then she looks at me, she's like, who is it named after? Did you name it after Ozzy Osbourne? If so, that's badass. Keep it. So I kept it. So we got a little girl named Ozzy. And I'm thinking about keeping the calico. Because you guys know what happened to my Bacardi last June. So we'll see what happens. But it was a rough day today. It was a rough day. So we will navigate that the best that we can here. And hopefully we can keep the calico. Because she very much is a cutie. So it is what it is. Again, I want to thank Grimm's Toy Show for allowing me to call his brewery brawl on Thursday. If you guys missed any of that, he's uploaded some matches and some clips to his YouTube channel. If you guys enjoy my commentary, if you guys enjoy my take on things behind the mic there, calling pro wrestling, go check that out. He did a great job editing those. And hopefully I will be back behind the mic there with him soon. I had a good time, and we're going to make it happen again. We're coming up on 8 months that I am now removed from House of Glory commentary without a single word of my termination. So we're going to try and hopefully get back there, too. I may show up at the big event and see what's going on with that. Big event is taking place in 2 weeks on Long Island. So if you guys are in the New York area and you're going to be roaming around there at the big event, New York City, I may find myself over there, being that I'm literally 20 minutes away from where it's taking place. So I'd very much like to be back with them. But the more it goes on, the more you're going to be hearing about it from me. Because I'm actually kind of pissed now. And I don't deserve that level of disrespect. I've done a lot. I put a lot of love and care into that shit. And the fact that I've gone ignored and nobody's answered any of my fucking questions is very disheartening and very disrespectful. And I'm fucking angry. And you guys have my permission, no matter where you are. Twitter, Instagram, let them know. Reach out to JD. Let them know. Tired of the fucking absolute silence from the people that work there. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the content on the channel. We uploaded a great video on Saturday. Talked about Jericho and Andrade and how TK could be looking at both of them walk back into the WWE. Andrade debuted with AEW, only to be let go to join WWE, to join AEW, and he may find himself back in WWE. Jericho is a free agent at the end of December, and he may be in the Royal Rumble. So go check that out. We talk about that. That's two big names, Jericho being the biggest. So we'll definitely talk about that. That's going to be a major blow for AEW, no matter how you want to look at it. The sickos will deny it. AEW will be losing one of their top-tier generals to WWE. Why? Because they're fucking clueless. So make sure you guys go check that out. Hit that thumbs up. And if you guys want to support, super chats are always open. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's try and close out the month of October in a great way. So if you guys want to support, super chats are open. They will remain open. So get them on in and we'll hang out at the end of the show. And by the way, if you guys are into liquid death like I am, I am drinking tonight Psycho Cider. If you guys can find it, I found it today at the local supermarket here. It's one of their carbonated sodas. It's not really a soda. It's just sparkling water that tastes like soda. It is one of the best liquid deaths that I've had. It's literally apple soda. It's apple sparkling water. It's the best apple sparkling water that I've had in quite some time. So if you guys can find it, Liquid Death Psycho Cider. It is definitely worth it if you can find it. And it is a limited edition. So if you guys do find it, pick it up. I found it on sale today for $6.99 for 6. So it was a good deal. If you guys can find it, try it out. It is delicious. I want to go over some of the news. There was a lot of questions. There was a lot of DMs. There was a lot of tweets. JD, did you see this? Are you going to talk about this? What do you think it is? WWE ran this viral campaign. And all we saw was people's feet. All we saw was people's feet. We saw 4 different videos of people walking in 10 to 12 second clips with some muffled music in the background. This viral campaign went on for the entire weekend, and it bled into tonight. We even got a clip, which I'm assuming is going to be a part of it, tonight during Raw. I thought we would get everything kind of mixed together and we would get the big unveiling tonight, but they may save it for Saturday night's main event, or they may save it for sometime in November. But it was a very weird, very bizarre campaign. And a lot of people made a big deal about this. They were speculating all weekend about what it could be, who it could be. The first clip showed someone in fancy, pointy dress shoes, wearing black dress socks, dress shoes, and he had black pants on, black dress pants. A lot of people were looking at this and saying, well, that's Gunther. That's the return of Gunther. They're hyping the return of Gunther just in time for John Cena to make his way back to WWE television. Then some eagle-eyed fans were calling it out. That's not Gunther. Gunther doesn't wear socks with his shoes. Now, I don't really pay that close of attention to who's wearing socks and who's not wearing socks. I think it's fucking weird if you're somebody wearing dress shoes and you're not wearing socks. I don't know why you would do that. Your shoes and your feet are going to smell like shit if you're not wearing socks. Then we got 3 other vignettes. And a lot of people were saying all 4 vignettes have all 4 different sets of shoes. The first set of shoes is not in the second one. Second one isn't in the third one. And the third one isn't in the fourth one. One of the clips was somebody crossing their hands, almost sitting in a church setting. And it looked like his hands were placed on a church bench or a confessional. And it looked like Paul Heyman's hand. The only one that I really figured out was Paul Heyman. A lot of people were speculating, well, this is the vision. This is the unveiling of who's going to join Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Paul Heyman in the vision. Some people were saying this is the return of Santos Escobar, who we also found out was in the building tonight, but they did not use. He is back with the WWE, and he may be going to Raw. This is the return of Santos Escobar. I don't know why WWE would waste all this social media presence on Santos Escobar, but everybody thought it was Santos Escobar. And if it was Santos Escobar, people were labeling Santos and Tony D'Angelo as some of the talents in these vignettes. Almost like Santos is going to get back with a faction and surround himself with some familiar faces. I thought that this was going to be a conglomeration of vignettes that unveil the Vision War Games team. And I thought that was going to be the case. One of the vignettes looked like Brock Lesnar as well. Jeans with what looked to be cowboy boots. It is none of these things. It is none of these things. Apparently, WWE fans were speculating all weekend over these cryptic videos. We're hinting at new storylines, a new faction, a major return. And then we got the news this morning from PW Insider Elite's paid subscription. The videos are not related to any current storyline developments. Instead, it is a promotional marketing campaign for WrestleMania 42. That was basically confirmed but not confirmed tonight, with WWE showing one of these vignettes tonight, a new one that we didn't see yet, on Raw, and it looked like a casino chip spinning around on a poker table or a roulette table. And on the back of the chip, when it stopped spinning, it landed on the table, and on the back of the chip, it said 2026. Poker chip, casino, Vegas. WrestleMania is in Vegas this year for a second year in a row. It's a promotional marketing campaign for WrestleMania 42. The report notes that several WWE stars were at the company's headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut over the last week to film material for this campaign. The names involved in the filming include Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, and we saw Paul Heyman. There was speculation that these videos were hinting at the possible return of Gunther, who is expected to make his return to television. Obviously, with John Cena's final match on the horizon, that is the rumor. Or Santos Escobar, who was rumored to be in the building for Raw tonight backstage, but they did not use him. WrestleVotes added that the full promo is expected to be revealed today, which we did not get. We only got a poker chip vignette during Raw. I guess it worked because it got everybody talking. And I understand very much so that WWE is a business and they are nothing more than one big infomercial and one big commercial and one big hype package. That's all they are. WWE knows how to get people talking. All they needed to do was shoot their fucking foot fetish all weekend, and it got people speculating on a bunch of different things. When you do that, you're obviously welcoming fans into the discussion. And you're getting them excited because what you're doing on your social media is showing 4 different vignettes with obviously 4 different people and 4 different sets of shoes. And the fans are obviously, the fans are obviously going to speculate. And they're going to come up with all these different theories because that's what makes wrestling fun. But here WWE is giving us these vignettes and has nothing to do with anything the fans talked about. It's WrestleMania campaign. It's a promotional tactic used to get the hype out for WrestleMania in Las Vegas. It's fucking October. Why are you getting the hype around WrestleMania now? I don't get it. You couldn't wait till the end of the year where there's nothing going on? You have to do it in October. You got to get people speculating in October. I don't know who came up with the decision to do this now, but you just let a whole lot of people down for what now is a complete waste of everybody's fucking time speculating over what this could be. This was the most weird and the most bizarre way to let people down over something that was genuinely interesting and exciting. And here WWE is getting the campaign rolled out for WrestleMania 42. I don't know if you know, but it's October and fans don't want to know about WrestleMania. How many fans are upset about WWE's handling over WrestleMania? Not only are they going back to the same city and charging 35% or more for tickets over last year, it's in the same setting, the same venue, the same fucking city. But the year after that, you're going to Saudi Arabia. I don't think fans really give a shit about WrestleMania now. You're charging people X amount of money to attend this year's WrestleMania. I don't know how many more people are going to go back and pay that much money to go see WrestleMania this year or next year when this year's WrestleMania was fucking piss poor. Awful. Nothing about that show was memorable. WWE needed to be careful with what they did here, and they dropped the ball as usual. On the flip side, the fans, and this shows the fans that they actually want to care about the product. The fans actually want to give a shit. If you give them a reason to give a shit, they will. The fans were let down. WWE didn't really help the cause, but the fans were let down because the fans hyped it up to be something that it wasn't. The fans let themselves down. You should automatically know that WWE is going to be WWE and do WWE things. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. They never will. They can pretend all they want that they're for the fans, and the fans are the fucking lifeblood of the product. Sure thing. Sure thing. Here's John Cena front row tickets for $15,000 to watch this man retire. But please, give a shit about our show. How could I give a shit about your show if I can't fucking attend? The fans let themselves down because they hyped it up to be so big and all these different options and all these different fan theories that when it wasn't any of those things, the fans were let down. Who did that? Did WWE do that? They didn't help. But the fans let themselves down. The fans were stupid. The fans got ahead. They came up with all these theories, and then they let themselves down. You got nobody to blame but yourself. So that was the weekend's mysterious teaser videos. I'm sure we'll talk about this tomorrow on Tuesday. But WWE did the fans and themselves no favors because they let everybody down. Egg on their face with these stupid foot videos all weekend. Monday Night Raw. The Rock? The fuck does The Rock have to do with it? Is The Rock in one of these foot videos? I don't think so. I'd be shocked if The Rock is in one of these foot videos. Supposedly it's Cody, Roman, Brock, and Paul Heyman. Monday Night Raw. We got Jey Uso starting things off. Gee, I wonder why people were watching the World Series at this time. WWE certainly does not give a shit, man. They wasted 10 minutes on Jey Uso's entrance. 2 yeets. He got his full-blown entrance. He's in the ring standing next to the WWE Championship, and you got geeks in the crowd doing the fucking let's do it again. Bro, I can't. I can't. And people legitimately want this guy as the WWE champion. Really. Yeah, I did see that one. Triple H posted one where they were all pouring drinks. Yeah. Yeah, I did see that one. I forgot about that one. People legitimately want Jey Uso to be World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know how anybody would want this guy as the WWE champion. I can't take it no more, bro. I can't. I just can't look at it anymore. It's fine, but not as World Heavyweight Champion. I'm sorry. We need a World Heavyweight Champion that's going to do things the way a World Heavyweight Champion needs to do things. Jey Uso is not that. We've been there, done that. It was a failure. Nobody gave a shit. And the television didn't find itself to be better with him as champion. I have no problem with Jey Uso. I actually like Jey Uso. I just can't see the man as WWE World Heavyweight Champion for a second time. Not over CM Punk. Not over CM Punk. But he's in the ring, and we get him doing not one but 2 yeets. Jey is standing in front of the World Heavyweight Championship on a podium in the middle of the ring. He says he's got a lot of people in his ears these days, including Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, and everyone's mama is in his ear. He said he doesn't give a shit what they think about him. He said it's just him who's going to be in the ring against Punk on Saturday night, and he's going to become a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. CM Punk interrupts Jey. I know, Jey Uso set the world on fire with that promo, I know. So he comes on out. Punk is in the ring, and he makes fun of Jey Uso, and he does, let's play my theme music again, and they actually play Cult of Personality for a second time, and he was making fun of Jey Uso. I apologize. I don't want to steal your stuff. Jey didn't seem too happy. Punk said, 4 letters, 1 word. He pointed at his hoodie. Punk. This is now 13 minutes into the fucking show, and you're supposed to sell me on a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, and you got 10 minutes of yeet twice, CM Punk's entrance twice, Jey saying that he's got Roman and everybody's mother in his ear, and CM Punk saying 4 letters, 1 word, Punk. I'm sorry, chat. If you're not excited about this, I can't, for the life of me, figure out why. How many remote controls were picked up and flipped to the World Series? Seemingly, WWE doesn't care. Match is already made, and they're basically fucking on cruise control going into Saturday. Punk says he's happy Jey is listening to himself now. He said he likes Jey, so it makes it harder to face him and lace up the boots. Says he's always listened to himself, but that's harder to do when you're losing or about to lose. He says he had a lot of questions tonight, but Jey's body language and his action last week answered a lot of them for him. He says he watched him throw his brother over the top rope. He told fans not to boo that because it's well within the rules of the Battle Royal. It's every man for himself. He said Jey showed everyone that he's got what it takes. He asked Jey how far he was willing to go, though. He says he needs to be champion like he needs air in his lungs. He says he knows how far he has to go, but does Jey Uso? He told Jey he will realize against him he's in a situation where he can't yeet yourself out of. He asked how far was he willing to go. Jey stared him down. He was now angry. Jey said, let's go, Punk. Let's go. He says he's been in deep waters before and he knows how to swim. He says he gets the fans behind him and he'll paint a picture that he's the bad guy. Screw you, Punk, says Jey Uso. So he starts yelling. He gets a little bit more intense. He says he will show him who is the best in the world. 4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. You know, I know a lot of people don't like the Jey Uso shtick, and a lot of people make fun of the fact that LA Knight was passed over again for Jey Uso, and LA Knight needs to change his name to LA Fatu if he stands a chance of getting a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Just become a part of the bloodline. Just become an oos. In all seriousness, I said this last week. I'm going to say this again. First of all, Jey has been acting very heelish the last 4 or 5 weeks. I do not see Jey Uso turning heel. At least right now. I don't. I think he's too popular. He sells too much merch. I don't know if the networks are going to want that. And I don't know if the networks are going to want to see Jey come out as a bad guy. He's way too popular. He's great with the kids. I just don't see that as a good business move. Would it help enhance Jey Uso? Sure. But we've been down this road before. We've had this discussion before. If we're going to turn anyone heel, as far as the baby faces are on Monday night, it's LA Knight that should go heel. LA Knight has more than a plethora of reasons why he should go heel and why he's upset with everybody. I just don't see Jey Uso turning heel. He sells way too much merch. And yes, that is still a huge metric for what happens in WWE. I'm going to say this again, just like I did last week, and I'm probably going to say this again on Saturday when we're live for Saturday night's main event. I don't want to see either one of these guys as the World's Heavyweight Champion. I don't want to see Jey Uso as the World's Heavyweight Champion because I just don't want to see him as the World's Heavyweight Champion. We've been there, done that. He beat Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't know what else needs to be done with Jey Uso as the World's Heavyweight Champion. I don't. I have no interest in it. You have no interest in it. WWE seemingly put him in this position for what reason over LA Knight? I don't fucking know. Someone in WWE absolutely has it out for LA Knight. It's the only thing I could possibly think of. Somebody back there has it out for LA Knight. Bruce Pritchard. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to put my 2 cents on Bruce Pritchard. Jey Uso does not need the World Heavyweight Championship. On the flip side, CM Punk doesn't need the World Heavyweight Championship. If CM Punk is not beating Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, then I don't want to see CM Punk as the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins is not there. He's out with an injury. He's not going to be back for a very long time. He's probably going to miss WrestleMania if the reports are correct. CM Punk should not beat Jey Uso to become the World Heavyweight Champion. That is so beneath CM Punk. It is not even fucking funny. I don't want CM Punk's reign as World Heavyweight Champion to be legit. The first reign he has. Because I don't count the 5 minutes where he beat Gunther and then got cashed in on. Sure, it's going to count in the record books that he won the World Heavyweight Championship, but he had a 5-minute reign. But at least he beat Gunther. He wrestled Gunther for 30 minutes. He beat one of the best wrestlers on the planet for the World Heavyweight Championship, and we got a memorable moment that followed that win. That was supposed to be that was supposed to be either the WrestleMania match or a match before the end of the year for the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk Rollins. Now we're talking about Punk Uso. That is so beneath Punk. It's laughable. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way to Jey Uso or CM Punk. Because I very much want to see CM Punk as the world champion. I do. But not now. Not against Jey Uso in Salt Lake fucking City on Saturday night's main event. I am keeping my fingers crossed for WrestleMania. CM Punk winning the Elimination Chamber in Chicago at the Allstate Arena. And he gets Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. That's my WrestleMania main event. And if you're not thinking about doing that now, then I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing. It's either Cody or Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, for the WWE Championship, or it's Cody and Randy Orton. What we do with Punk, I have no fucking clue. What does CM Punk do? Who do you put CM Punk in the ring with? AJ Styles, one-on-one match, WrestleMania, his final WrestleMania ever before he retires? AJ Styles? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't want to see CM Punk win a world championship before he wins the WWE Championship on Saturday night's main event against Jey Uso. Something like that you get one time. You took his one time to play up an angle so that you can film a fucking storyline in an episode for WWE Unreal. We're not going to take Punk now and wither his run down to beating Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship in fucking Utah. CM Punk deserves a WrestleMania main event and a World Championship crowning moment at WrestleMania. So yes, I want Punk to be champion, but not for the World Heavyweight Championship. For the WWE Championship. That's what I would do. I mean, it's very simple. WrestleMania, if you look at it right now, very, very, very early stages, Punk Cody, main event of night 2. Roman versus Braun Breaker, main event of night 1. Gunther versus Lesnar. And if Jericho is back, you're looking at Jericho versus LA Knight. One-on-one. Who Styles wrestles in his final WrestleMania? I have no idea. Maybe they do Styles and Balor. Maybe. I have no idea. But that's what I would do. And then you do Rhea Ripley versus Stephanie Vaquer. Then you could do Jade versus Bianca. And kind of flesh out the rest of the card. But CM Punk and Cody Rhodes should be the main event of WrestleMania. We're not talking about CM Punk winning the World Heavyweight Championship, only to then drop it to Braun Breaker, and then Punk wins the Elimination Chamber to go on and battle Cody Rhodes. If he's going to win a World Championship, I don't want to give him a World Championship now, only to then have him wrestle Cody Rhodes. I would rather have him not win a World Championship and just go into the chamber and win the chamber, and then get a championship match, the championship match that he deserves. The one that means the most, not this secondary fucking title. You give Punk this title, you're making Punk the secondary champion in the company. And that's not because of Punk. That's because of the World Championship and the way that it's been programmed. Do you want that for CM Punk? I know I don't. CM Punk is so much better than that. That's just my 2 cents. This didn't really do anything to get me excited. I don't know who asked for this match. I don't know who's excited to see this match. And quite honestly, Saturday, I hope Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed blow this shit up. We get no fucking champion. And we go into Survivor Series still with a vacated World Championship. I'm hoping for some level of creativity here. That's the end goal. I'm hoping for some creativity. A mini Deadly Games tournament. Something that progresses a story with a sense of urgency on Monday night leading into Survivor Series. I hope to God that no champion is crowned on Saturday and neither one of these guys walks out with the belt, because it would be a product of last-minute, lazy creative. Yes, Rollins is hurt. Let's strip him of the title. Let's put Punk in a match or give him a number one contendership, and we'll do a battle royal to determine his opponent and crown the champion at Saturday night's main event in Utah. Bro, you're going to wish for Chat GPT to give you your fucking creative, if that's the best that they got. Who asks for that? Who looks at that and gets excited? I know I don't. Neither one of these guys should win. It's fucking awful. It's lazy. It's uncreative. It's simple. And the most important thing is, it's almost like the creative team forgot to have fun. I mean, if I had a job as a creative writer and I had this type of roster, the first thing that should be on the list of priorities is to have fun. How is Punk getting number one contender? Jey Uso winning a battle royal. Jey Uso versus CM Punk. Fun. It's not fun. It's fucking lazy. Nobody knows how to have fun anymore. Oh, we gotta be all corporate. Fun. You're charging people fucking a lung to sit in these fucking seats. At least fun. Where's the fun? Nothing's fun anymore. Neither one of these guys should walk out the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Dominik Mysterio, we walked up to Finn Balor, JD McDonagh, Roxanne Perez, and Raquel Rodriguez backstage. We have a problem, he says. Yeah, we do. He said Adam Pearce has a vendetta against him by booking Penta versus Rusev, and he has to face the winner at Saturday night's main event. Raquel then said, well, if you weren't such a habitual cheater. Dominik looks at her and says, I never cheated a day in my life. What are you talking about? He asks what they're going to do to help him. Balor starts getting angry. Oh, yeah? What are we going to do? McDonagh told Balor to calm down. He said they are focused on regaining their tag team titles after you cost us the titles by getting us a match we never asked for. Balor said Dom cost them the belts. McDonagh says he's on his own tonight. Dominik got on the phone quickly after Balor and McDonagh walked away. He got on the phone with somebody and says, yeah, are you around? I'm going to need your help tonight. Raquel told Roxanne to focus on themselves because she wanted to go see if Dominik was all right and see if he needed any help. Roxanne seems to be the only one that cares about Dominik here. Penta. He went one-on-one with Rusev. This was a number one contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. This was very good. Rusev and Penta work very good together. Like Dominik said, the winner of this match gets him at Saturday night's main event. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago where it more than likely was leading towards a triple threat match. And that's exactly what we got here. So Penta knocked Rusev to the floor, hits a tope con hilo. Back in the ring, Penta hit a springboard tornado DDT for a near fall. Rusev dropped to the floor to regroup. Caught Penta with a right hand. Follows him to the outside. We go back into the ring. Rusev, he squashes Penta in the corner with an avalanche. Penta came back with the backstabber for a near fall. Basement dropkick sent Rusev to the floor. Penta then followed him out there again. This time, Rusev flapjacked him into the post. And we go into a commercial break. So we come back from the break and we see Penta on the mat in the ring. And Rusev is ripping at his mask. He's trying to rip his mask off. Penta jumped into a bear hug. He fought his way out of it. When do you see a bear hug used in a pro wrestling match in 2025? That seems so antiquated. You don't really see that all that often. So he's got him in a bear hug. But I tell you what, if there's a guy to do a bear hug and make it cool again, it is Rusev. Penta dodged a charge in the corner, caught him with a corner handstand kick for a near fall. Penta then starts to kick at Rusev, and he's wobbly now on spaghetti legs. Crowd is behind Penta here. Penta dove into a super kick from Rusev off the top rope. He fell down like a sack of potatoes. Rusev goes for a quick cover. He gets a near fall. So he sees the opportunity to go for the accolade. Penta countered the accolade with a Penta driver. He gets a 2 count. Rusev and Penta fought. All of a sudden, Los Americanos run out. We get Rayo, not Mayo, Rayo and Bravo Americano. They're out there with El Grande Americano, who ran in and attacked both Rusev and Penta, and the match ends in a no contest. After the match, Rusev dumped Rayo and Bravo. Penta went after El Grande. He got away. And all of a sudden, we get Rusev and Penta staring each other down in the middle of the ring as the match came to a close. So you knew at this point where they were going because we got a no contest. Dominik clearly was on the phone with Los Americanos, so he needed help. And he thought by taking out both of these guys that it would eliminate both of those guys from getting a world or a Intercontinental Championship match at Saturday night's main event. Little does he know that Adam Pearce doesn't work that way. You would think that the people on the roster who work there know exactly how Adam Pearce operates, yet they continue to ignore all the telltale signs. So you knew when Adam Pearce seen what Dominik did, he was just going to put Penta and Rusev in a match with Dominik, make it a triple threat, and put the IC title on the line. Which, like I said, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we've been getting this back and forth with Penta and Rusev, Dominik and Rusev, Dominik and Penta. Dominik is cheated to beat both of them. Then Adam Pearce puts both Rusev and Penta in a number one contenders match because of all the cheating that's been going on. He felt like they've got robbed, and he felt like they were wronged. And Dominik just ends this match in a no contest because he called Los Americanos. I mean, it's simple. There's nothing wrong with it. I hope they fucking do a title change because the title isn't doing much on Dominik now anyway. They're more focused on him being the AAA mega champion. So I could see Penta winning the Intercontinental title. I could also see Rusev winning the Intercontinental Championship. Either one of those guys would be a solid Intercontinental champion, in my opinion. Penta has great matches, and Rusev's been having fucking bangers. I mean, he's been great. I'm glad that he's finally starting to get some momentum. He's in a nice place right now, is Rusev. He's been killing it. I think both of these guys, either one of them should be rewarded. Quite honestly. Hopefully they do the title change. Jackie Redmond interviewed LA Knight. She asked him about the Battle Royal and the fact that he did not win the Battle Royal. He should have won the Battle Royal. I much rather would have seen LA Knight versus CM Punk in the main event of Saturday night's main event, but we don't book the show. Triple H does. What's next? He says he didn't come out with what he needed. He says he doesn't have a title around his waist, but he will do what he needs to do to get one. He says he's used to doing things the hard way. He said whoever wins, he's coming for either Jey or CM Punk. Braun Breaker's backstage. For a second week in a row, he is still confused as to why him and Bronson Reed were not in the Battle Royal last week to crown a number one contender next to CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. He told Paul Heyman that he trusts him. Well, that's good. But they should have been in the Battle Royal last week and destroyed everyone. Heyman says he understands. He loves that idea. But if you went and did that idea, there would be consequences behind it. He says Pierce could have suspended all three of them without pay and made it his life's mission to keep Braun Breaker away from the World Heavyweight Championship. Heyman said Punk and Jey are going to beat the living shit out of each other, and one of them will have to show up on Raw as a victim looking to be victimized by a true victimizer. In this case, Braun Breaker. He says if he beats the one man who shares this view, his path to the world title is clear. Breaker says he wants a match with that man tonight. So who's it going to be? Which one of these guys am I going to get? Heyman said, well, good thing I just spoke to Adam Pearce because I already got a match arranged for you. You're going to be wrestling LA Knight. Breaker and Bronson Reed smiled. And again, I like the way one segment went into the next. LA Knight just talked about he'd have to go and do things the hard way to get back to the World Championship. Then we go into a segment with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman about why he wasn't in the Battle Royal and how he wants to destroy everybody. And that CM Punk and Jey Uso are going to destroy each other at Saturday night's main event. And then when that happens, you will victimize one of these men on Monday. And then get your World Championship match against one of these guys, whoever it may be. He's not going to wrestle Jey. He's not going to wrestle Punk. So the one guy that he got a match with is the other guy who wants a World Championship opportunity because he feels wronged. And that's LA Knight. Again, it made sense. Logically, it made sense. So I like that one segment from LA Knight bled into this segment with Braun Breaker, and then we got a match with Braun Breaker and LA Knight because he wants to destroy somebody. He's looking to take out everybody to make his path very clear. The vision needs to be clear for Braun Breaker. Hopefully, he does not listen to Paul Heyman, and hopefully him destroying people happens on Saturday because I want to see Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed absolutely decimate Jey Uso and CM Punk, and no world champion is crowned on Saturday. None. Backstage, Adam Pearce was on the phone with who? Nobody knows. I'm going to assume it's Triple H. Balor and McDonagh approached. Pearce said he had something to tell Dominik. Where is he? We don't know. We came here to talk about our World Championship tag team title rematch. Pearce said one of them had to face Sheamus first after what they did to him at the Battle Royal last week. Sheamus was upset because they eliminated him last week unfairly. McDonagh says, I would wrestle Sheamus. I'm going to rip his head off, and then when I do, I'm coming back here to ask for my tag team title match. Look at JD McDonagh taking things into his own hands. Nikki Bella. She went one-on-one with Roxanne Perez. She had Raquel Rodriguez in her corner. Chat, give me a thumbs down in the emoji, or give me a thumbs down emoji in the chat if you are one of those people who just doesn't want to see Nikki Bella on your television screens. I know Nikki Bella is back to finish her story the way that she wants. I don't think Nikki Bella adds anything to the women's division. I don't think Nikki Bella adds any interest to the show. I don't think Nikki Bella adds anything to any part of the show whatsoever. I just don't care. I don't know how anybody could. Oh, but she's a legend, JD. She's a former Divas champion, JD. That's fantastic. You're taking somebody from the olden era and trying to put them, who was never good to begin with. She was all right. She was adequate. She was serviceable. I would say serviceable is just below good. She was serviceable enough to get by. Meanwhile, you got Nikki Bella now, who is much older and not much wiser. Her offense is not impactful, and it looks like she doesn't know what she's doing half the time in there. Now, this is just from my set of eyes. I felt like I was watching a match in slow motion. I felt like I was watching a match in which she was trying to memorize everything that she had to do in there. Like, I don't understand how you're in the ring with Roxanne Perez and you need to have such a choreographed and scripted match. It's the signs of somebody not being all that good. Who asked for this? And who asked for Nikki Bella and this fake friendship and this fake, I'm going to come out and support you, to Stephanie Vaquer? Do they realize that this is not really helping Stephanie Vaquer's stock in the company on television? Who asked for this? So we got this match. It went on way longer than it needed to. It went 11 minutes. Can you imagine? Nikki Bella, an 11-minute match on Raw. Couldn't find anything else to put on the show. You needed Nikki Bella to go 11 minutes. So Perez mocked Bella. She got slapped in the face. Perez thought she had the better of Bella. She got caught with a shot that might have been something that legit stunned her for a little bit. They went slapping back and forth. It didn't look bad. I think Roxanne was playing possum. I thought she was playing possum anyway. I thought the slap was kind of weak. And then she went to maybe do a heel thing and kind of take her by surprise, but she played it up like she got slapped. I think this was very much an over-embellish of the sell. So Perez dropped to the floor after a face buster by Nikki Bella, and Bella tossed her to the ringside area. Back in the ring, Rodriguez snapped Bella's neck against the rope while Perez distracted the referee, who was Jessica Carr, in this match. Bella gave Perez some offense here in the few opening minutes. We go into a commercial break. Perez hit a running uppercut on Bella while she was against the ropes. Perez hit a double jump moonsault off the middle rope for a nice-looking move and a near fall. She then cranked away at Bella's neck with a neck vice because Nikki Bella has a series of neck issues. Perez went on the attack, still working on the neck, clubbing her neck with some forearms. She then did push-ups to taunt Nikki Bella. Bella then double-legged sweeped Perez, caught her with a running boot. She then drove Perez's face into the mat. Both women are now trying to get back to their feet. Bella hit a series of clotheslines and a drop kick. She hit a disaster kick, or I guess the Bella kick, whatever the fuck she calls it, for a near fall. She then went for her finish, the rack attack. But Perez countered with a sleeper as she slid down Nikki's back. Bella escaped. Perez tripped her up into the ropes. Bella hit a spine buster for a near fall. Rodriguez jumped on the apron, so Bella knocked her down. Perez caught Bella with a cradle for a 2 count. Bella then caught Perez with a cradle of her own for a 2. She went in for a charge in the corner, but Perez ducked and Bella hit the middle buckle. Perez then hit Pop Rocks out of the corner and got a rare victory on Monday Night Raw. So Roxanne Perez beat Nikki Bella here with Pop Rocks. 1, 2, 3. After the match, Rodriguez hit Nikki Bella. It's a 2-on-1 attack. Stephanie Vaquer ran out. She made the save. She made the promise last week that if Bella is in trouble, she has her back. It's exactly what happened here. Valkryia and Rodriguez had a bit of a stare down, and I did not realize how tiny Stephanie Valkryia is, especially when looking up at Raquel Rodriguez. So we got that. So they're staring down. Bella tried to interject herself into the stare down. That didn't really work because nobody gave a fuck. So Nikki and Stephanie were standing up to Rodriguez. Rodriguez backed away without getting involved because now she saw herself in a 2-on-1 attack. Literally just sticking herself into the situation when nobody asked her to be there is Nikki Bella. And Raquel Rodriguez leaves the ring, joins Roxanne Perez in the aisleway, and now we have a tag team match booked for next week. It'll be Stephanie Valkryia and Nikki Bella teaming up against Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Nikki Bella's going to turn heel. I just feel like she's going to turn heel on Stephanie. What else are they doing? She has nobody else to feud with. I could see this all being a well-thought-out, calculated plan to earn the champion's trust. And then all of a sudden, Nikki turns heel because who legitimately gives a shit about her as a babyface? Now, heel turn may actually be the best thing for her. And they're short of heels on Raw. They got Asuka. Becky's not there every week. They need somebody other than the fucking Judgment Day. Nikki might actually thrive in that role. Who knows? Or maybe I'm just reading it the wrong way, and maybe they are just going to stick them together for the time being, and Stephanie Valkryia versus Roxanne Perez may be the title feud. I would rather take that. Do you genuinely want to see Stephanie Valkryia versus Nikki Bella? In the back, Bayley and Lyra, they were chatting it up. They have a tag team title match coming up later on the show against Charlotte and Alexa. Asuka confronted Lyra backstage. She told Lyra she cut in front of them in the line for the tag team titles. Kyrie blamed Lyra also and then left. Bayley then walked up to Lyra and said she got them into a mess. Bayley brushed it off and gave Lyra a robe that she got when she was on tour with WWE in Japan. Bayley said the tag team titles mean a lot to her and she believes in her. Lyra asked what the surprise was. Bayley said, your surprise is we got a tag team title match. I got us a tag team title match against Charlotte and Alexa. That's your birthday surprise. If you guys remember last week, she said she had a birthday surprise for Lyra. Lyra said, listen, I've never been in the ring with either Charlotte or Alexa, so this is a big deal to me. Bayley asked, what happens if they lose? Lyra then asked, what happens if we win? So that excited Bayley. They did a Bayley-Lyra handshake, and they were excited about their opportunity later in the show. Jimmy Uso. He's walking in the back, and he confronted his brother Jey and asked him if he really doesn't care what he says. Now, if you guys remember, Jey took advantage, within the rules, Battle Royal is every man for himself. He took the opportunity to dump Jimmy and LA Knight at the same time and win the Battle Royal. Now, if you guys watched last week's show, Jimmy saved Jey from elimination twice. The plan was, according to Jimmy, that it was supposed to come down to them and they were supposed to battle it out. And the end of the Battle Royal was supposed to see Jimmy versus Jey. Jimmy says he saw the tape. Jey says, I was trying to throw LA Knight over the top rope, not you. Jimmy knew that Jey was bullshitting. Says he saw the tape. He says it was supposed to come down to the two of them before it was every man for himself. He said if Jey really believed in himself, he wouldn't be so scared to find out which one of them is better. He was trying to make Jey feel guilty about what he did. Which, if I'm Jimmy, I'm doing the same thing. Honestly. Not much there, but a continuation from last week, which, you know, Jimmy showed up on SmackDown, and he was just so angry that he was looking for a fight. So he wanted to take his anger out on Drew McIntyre because he looked over on SmackDown, which I guess it doesn't even make sense. Like, what does he have to do with that? He's on Raw. I guess he's on SmackDown, but he's been more on Raw than he has been on SmackDown. But all of a sudden now he finds himself caring about who attacked Jacob Fatu and who put Jacob Fatu out. I mean, they didn't really do much of anything with Jimmy and Jacob in the last few months. So now all of a sudden he cares about the well-being of Jacob Fatu. I don't know what that was supposed to mean on Friday. But this is where the continuation really should have been. It's making Jey feel guilty about what he did. But if you look at Jey's side, he did everything that was legal. He did everything that was asked of him in a battle royal setting. He eliminated his brother, and it's every man for himself. But, you know, you got to look at it from Jimmy's point of view. You got to look at it from Jey's point of view. If Jimmy was in that situation, would Jimmy have done the same thing to Jey? Probably. Probably. So at the end of the day, you're just going to go around in circles arguing with each other over basically nothing. So you might as well make up and just find another opportunity when it presents itself. Braun Breaker. Who's getting benched? Who's telling me what to do? JD, read your chat and interact with your fans. Okay, Elliot the Herbert. Go fuck yourself. How about that? Is that enough interaction for you? Go tell your mother to make me a fucking sandwich. I usually get hungry at the end of the streams. Shut the fuck up. Enjoy the stream. Let me read my notes that I took during the fucking show to entertain you guys. And let me get through this fucking stream so I can get everybody out of here at a decent hour so I can jump on Battlefield 6 and enjoy the rest of my fucking evening. Is that enough of an interaction for you? Braun Breaker. Consider yourself interacted, you fucking idiot, Elliot. Yes. Braun Breaker. Like I owe him something. I don't owe you shit. See, that's the type of stuff you ban people for in the chat. See, that's a good ban. Okay? If people are just arguing amongst each other, don't ban them for no reason. Don't ban them for sharing an opinion. I mean, the only type of opinion that I would want you to ban for is if you get some fucking weird AEW sex pest in here who starts screaming at the top of a fucking mountain, AEW is better and all this other, then get those people out of here. It's not an AEW stream. This is a WWE stream. See, that's the type of interaction that I want benched and I want out of here. So good job. Hula Grim, thank you. That was a justified benching. Braun Breaker. He went one-on-one with LA Knight. You know, I look at this and I moaned and groaned. I look at this and I say, haven't we had enough of this? I mean, over the course of the last 3 months, we've gotten such a mix bag of LA Knight and Braun Breaker, LA Knight and Bronson Reed, LA Knight and CM Punk versus the Bronze, LA Knight and Jimmy Uso versus the Bronze. Like, how many more LA Knight and Braun Breaker matches do we need? How many more LA Knight Vision matches do we need? We don't need any more of these matches between these two. But I will say that they tried to make a story out of this to move Braun Breaker further ahead in the World Championship title picture. And quite honestly, this was probably the best LA Knight Braun Breaker match that we've gotten. Minus one botch where Braun Breaker took a nasty fall off the top rope because I don't know what the fuck they were planning. And Braun Breaker took a nasty spill from the top rope. Thankfully, he was all right. But this was a great match. As far as television matches, this was a great match. And it should serve as, yes, Braun Breaker is more than ready for a World Heavyweight Championship. In my opinion, anyway. So, I enjoyed this. I don't want to see it anymore, but I enjoyed this. LA Knight walked down the aisle and he took a fan sign, and the sign said, "We want LA Knight, not Jey." So Bruce Pritchard's looking on from gorilla position. He's looking at this and calculating what type of punishment LA Knight needs now over the next 6 months. Can't make fun of Oos. Can't make fun of Yeet Man. This was not staged. This was not planted. LA Knight did that because there are legitimate people who feel that way. And LA Knight clearly took that fan and his sign and showed that off in front of the camera because he also feels the same exact way. He basically told you what he cannot physically tell you on WWE television. He had the fan speak for him. So, after giving Knight a little bit of offense here, Braun ran through LA Knight with a clothesline. Braun legitimately ran the ropes, and you physically saw him speed up in real time. I don't know how he does it. He runs the ropes like nobody I've ever seen. It's crazy. Ran through LA Knight, took him out. Knight came back with a crossbody. Breaker buried a knee right into his midsection. LA Knight caught Braun with some left-handed jabs, put the boots to him in the corner. Knight caught him with a big knee, and Breaker dropped down to the floor to take a breather. He's on the outside with Bronson Reed. He regrouped, calmed down a little bit. Knight hit Braun with a drop kick to the floor, and we go into a commercial break. Now, during the break, Reed distracted Knight, which allowed Braun to press slam Knight onto the announce table. The announce desk is the most dangerous spot in all WWE. It's more dangerous than the NXT parking lot. Every week, something happens out there. Braun Breaker is in control. Hits an avalanche knee in the corner, suplexing Knight over the ropes to the floor. Braun ran halfway around the ring and hit Knight with a flying shoulder tackle. No spear. Only a flying shoulder tackle. We go back into the ring. Knight fought his way out of a chin lock. Breaker tried to slow the match down. Hits a flying clothesline of his own. Knight caught Breaker with a big jumping neck breaker, pop-up power slam, and a jumping elbow. Knight then went for the BFT, not the BLT, the BFT. Breaker escaped, hit Knight with another knee. Breaker went to the top rope, hit a Frankensteiner. Knight slipped off the buckles and sent Breaker. Well, actually, he didn't hit the Frankensteiner. He went for a Frankensteiner, but Knight slipped off through the buckles and sent Breaker tumbling down to the mat. So that's where it got a little ugly. So he went for the Frankensteiner like he usually does, and he points to the crowd. He does the no-handed Frankensteiner. LA Knight slipped through, and Braun Breaker fell off the top rope. It looked very ugly. It looked very nasty. Thankfully, he was all right. Knight set up Breaker for a superplex. Braun pushed him down, so Knight ran up the ropes again and delivered the superplex on Braun. That was a great spot. When LA Knight usually hits that in one motion superplex where he jumps off to the top rope and then delivers the superplex in one motion, that is a great looking move. So Knight went for the BFT again. Breaker escaped. Bronson Reed distracted LA Knight, giving Braun an opening for the spear. But LA Knight ducked and Braun went to the floor. He went through the ropes and out to the floor. Knight went after Reed on the floor. For what reason, I don't know. And then sent Breaker headfirst into the commentary table. Back in the ring, Breaker tried for a gorilla press. LA Knight escaped and hit a reverse DDT. Knight went up for his springboard top rope elbow, but Breaker kept up as Knight jumped. Knight rolled through, jumped up, and ran into a spear from Braun Breaker. 1, 2, 3. And that was basically it. This match went 13 minutes. Braun Breaker wins clean. Well, actually, I guess you can kind of give the mini assist to Bronson Reed. But for the most part, it was a clean win. Now, I've seen some people complaining to Sapp online, and he was quote tweeting some fucking unintelligent geeks online. People were like, oh, LA Knight is buried. Braun Breaker buried LA Knight. Listen, LA Knight is wrestling top-tier talent every fucking week. He's got 2 or 3 different segments on the show every fucking week. Would I call him buried? No, I don't think LA Knight's buried. I think WWE is dropping the ball creatively with LA Knight, I'll tell you that. You would hope that With everything that LA Knight has had to endure, and the fact that LA Knight seemingly feels like he's on the back burner, that they got something major planned for him at some point. Is he buried? No, I don't think he's buried. I don't. Now, we're not looking at a fucking Guantanamo Bay situation. Like, Britt Baker is buried. She's off television. Who else is a good example of buried? I don't know. In recent memory, we haven't really seen any egregious buryings. Who's buried? Give me somebody, Chad. Give me somebody today on today's television that's buried, that you would put in the category legitimately of buried. Yes, he's misused. That's a good word. MK Pandy. That's a very good way to put it. He is misused. Yes. Like, I can't even pinpoint to you who actually is buried on today's television. It's such an overused word. I don't think people really understand the meaning of buried. Camille. Camille's buried. R-Truth, buried. Wardlow, buried. Yes. Yes, the entire AEW women's division, buried. Julia. I wouldn't say Julia is buried. I would say Julia is the very definition of misused, for sure. Private Party got buried. Yes. Yes, Private Party got buried. That's a good way to use the word buried. Absolutely. The way that they gave them the tag team titles to ultimately have them do nothing with them, then to drop them in unceremonious fashion against the Hurt Syndicate last year, that is buried. Absolutely. Braun Breaker wins in 13 minutes. I thought this was a good TV match. I thought this was very good. Outside that one little botch, thankfully, Braun Breaker's all right. It made sense. Paul Heyman booked the match. Paul Heyman knew that he had to get rid of LA Knight before he moved on to either Jey Uso or CM Punk. It made sense. It happened. He won. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see LA Knight against the Vision one-on-one in a tag team setting anymore. It's over. We've been there and done that. Jey Uso, he's sitting in the back. I'm guessing he looked for Jimmy, and he found Jimmy. I guess he didn't like what Jimmy had to tell him. Jimmy confronted Jey and said, listen, if you really care what I have to say, then please be honest with me. Jey says, I was trying to throw LA Knight over the top. Actually, no, that's the last interaction. Sorry. Jey approached Jimmy. See, I don't even know where the fuck I am. I'm reading notes that I just read to you. Jey approached Jimmy and told him he heard what he said earlier. He tried to lie to Jimmy, saying that he tried to dump LA Knight over the top rope, and Jimmy said, no, that's not what happened. I saw the tape. He says he's his brother and he loves him, and nothing will change that. He says it wasn't his fault that Jimmy didn't get the chance to eliminate him. He asks, why is he coming after him before the biggest match of his career and claim he betrayed him? This is not the biggest match of his career. You know, I appreciate when there's a sense of realism in the program. If anybody thinks this is Jey Uso's biggest match of his career, you clearly did not pay attention all year. The biggest match of Jey Uso's career happened at WrestleMania on night one in the opening match against Gunther. That was the biggest match of his career. Second would be Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens against the Usos in the main event of WrestleMania. That's the second biggest because they main evented. This is not the biggest match. The match with CM Punk is not the biggest match of his career. So I would love, and I would appreciate pro wrestling companies to level with me and be a little bit more realistic. This is not the biggest match of his career. It's a big match. It's one of the biggest matches of his career. Is it the biggest? No, not even close. He has a lot on his plate. Says he doesn't have a lot of real estate for anyone. He asked if he hears him. Jimmy forgave him. They hugged. And it looks like they have kissed and made up here. No, I don't see Jey turning heel. Are we headed for a Jimmy and Jay one-on-one match at WrestleMania? That's what I'm really kind of trying to figure out here. Could be. Way too early to tell. But there's obviously something going on here between the two brothers. And when Roman gets back, who knows what type of influence he's going to have over the situation. Sheamus. He went one-on-one with JD McDonagh. This was easily the best match of the night. I thought this was great. JD McDonagh is so I don't want to say underutilized. He's on the show every week. JD McDonagh is so under the radar. Like, he is so good and so many people don't even know how good he is. Sheamus. I think everybody knows how good Sheamus is. I don't think WWE realizes how good Sheamus still is at this stage of his career. Both of these guys are fucking great. I'd love to see Sheamus more than we do. The show is so much better when he's in the ring, man. Everything the guy does is fucking great. He is one of the more consistent guys in the entire business. You take anybody from any promotion and you put them up against Sheamus. Sheamus is at the top of the list as far as most consistent performers in that ring. And JD McDonagh is fucking great. He has been great. He's only on the main roster now, showing more people how great he is, and people still aren't talking about how great he is. He's underappreciated. Yes. This was a great match. Sheamus, he went right after McDonagh early. He dropped back body dropped McDonagh so high. McDonagh sold the shit out of this back body drop. McDonagh is the new Dolph Ziggler. His sell is fucking great. He makes everybody look so much better. McDonagh clipped Sheamus' leg. He got a little bit of an advantage. McDonagh turned his back on Sheamus and then got clothesline out to the floor. Sheamus and Balor had to stare down outside. Back in the ring, McDonagh hit a slingshot spinning splash. He only got a 1 count. Sheamus set up McDonagh for the forearms against the ropes, which is the 10 beats of the Bodhrán. But Finn pulled JD out to the floor. He saved him from the Bodhrán. Sheamus hit both Finn and JD with clotheslines off the apron out to the floor. And we go into a commercial break with all three guys outside. McDonagh was in control after the commercial break with the chin lock. That's how they slowed the match down. Sheamus got to his feet. So I'm assuming whoever produced this match was the same person that produced the Nikki Bella and Roxanne Perez match, because that match was also slowed by a chin lock. So Sheamus got to his feet. He sent both him and McDonagh out to the floor again. McDonagh caught Sheamus with an acai moonsault outside. Connected on that. Quickly back in the ring. McDonagh hit a great 450 splash. You see, Sheamus is pasty white anyway, so you see all the markings of a brutal match on his body. McDonagh was also taking a beating here, and he also was left with markings on his body from Sheamus. So they physically looked beat up already, and we're only halfway through this thing. 450 splash looked great. Got a cover, near full. McDonagh tried kicking and slapping Sheamus, which only fired up Sheamus. Sheamus floored JD with a pair of clotheslines. Irish curse backbreaker. McDonagh escaped the 10 beats of the Bodhrán again and caught Sheamus with a cradle for a 2 count. Sheamus finally got JD tied up. Not me, but McDonagh in the ropes and delivered the 10 beats of the Bodhrán. Sheamus went for the bro kick. McDonagh caught him with a jumping knee. Sheamus gave McDonagh a crucifix powerbomb, but Finn put McDonagh's foot on the ropes to break the count. Sheamus goes out to the floor and gave Finn a big boot for interfering in the match. McDonagh dove through the ropes for the save, but Sheamus cut him off. We'll go back into the ring. Sheamus went to the top. Balor hit Sheamus with the shillelagh behind the referee's back. Sheamus fell on the turnbuckles. McDonagh then took Sheamus off the top rope with a Spanish fly and got the 1, 2, 3. Wade Barrett called this the biggest win of JD McDonagh's career. Now, I agree with that. In a one-on-one setting, it absolutely is. I don't see any lies there from Wade Barrett. This was a great match. What this means, I don't know, but It looks like we may be getting a more angrier Sheamus now because Finn Balor cost him this match with the Soleil shot. We may see Sheamus interfere in the tag team title match next week when the Judgment Day get their rematch against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. I don't see a title change next week. I see Sheamus getting in there and fucking things up. Excellent match. JD McDonagh got a win over Sheamus. 14 minutes. Great match. Adam Pearce is backstage with Maxine Dupree. Pearce says she has 2 wins over Becky. She has earned a 3rd match for the IC title. He said Becky asked for the week off. Dupree said she doesn't want this opportunity to go to waste. So Adam Pearce said, what are you talking about? I thought they were going to make a no DQ match. We got a count out and we got a DQ. I figured that they would just make it a no count out, no DQ match. So Becky can't escape. She can't cheat to win. She's got to actually beat Maxine. So Maxine said, I want this match, but I have to call a friend to find out what she thinks and see if she's prepared and ready. Now, she said she is determined to give Becky and the rest of the world the biggest shock of their lives. Adam Pearce told her to call him when she's ready, and he will make this match happen because she's earned it. She has. I would say so, and I would say she has. Now, there's only 2 people on the list here that I think that Maxine could possibly call. The first one that rings is Natalya. She's got to call her friend to see if she's prepared and ready. I'm assuming that Natalya could be coming back, not with the Italian Neidhart gimmick. No. But Natalya could be coming back with that Hart family dungeon gimmick. Natty Neidhart. Not Natalya, Natty Neidhart. We could see Natty Neidhart with the new gimmick. The gimmick that she's been playing in Bloodsport and on the Indies. And in AAA. We could see Natty Neidhart next week on Raw. Or we could see AJ Lee. Now, I don't know what AJ Lee has to do with Maxine. I don't know if AJ Lee could be considered Maxine's friend or vice versa, but it could lead into AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch eventually, which I know AJ has alluded to. And you would think that with AJ making Becky Lynch tap at WrestlePalooza, man, they seemingly have moved on from that. They could go back to it. It may be too late. I don't know who's going to care, but at this point, I think it would be more interesting to see Natty Neidhart, honestly. Fresh coat of paint on Natty. Get her out there. Have her be just her true self out there. I think that'd be great. So we'll see what happens. Jackie Redmond interviewed Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss about accepting Bayley's impromptu challenge against her and Lyra. Bliss said if someone wants a fight, they just have to ask. Well, the division doesn't really have many people to ask, so, you know, beggars can't be choosers here. Charlotte said she was about to make history. Bliss said, we. I don't know if that should be of a concern to Alexa from Charlotte. Everything's I with Charlotte. Alexa's trying to get her on board with we. We are the tag team champions. Charlotte said she is right. She needs to work on that. Asuka and Kairi Sane interrupted and said they should be getting the title match tonight, not Bayley and Lyra. She said Bayley and Lyra don't deserve the titles. Neither do Bliss and Charlotte. Charlotte said that they would be honored to face them too. Asuka then looked at Charlotte and said, neither one of you are ready for Asuka. Yeah, I don't think so. Not this Asuka. I don't think anybody's ready for Asuka. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They were chatting with Adam Pearce. Styles says 2026 is my last year. But right now they are the tag team champions and he's got some business to take care of. He told Pearce to bring on the top. Bring on the top contenders, man. What top contenders exist on Monday Night Raw in the men's tag team division, man? Does anybody know? Chat, do you know who exists in the division, man, as top contenders? Oh, man. AJ, listen, bro, I know you're going to need to find some extracurricular activities after retirement, bro, but comedian should definitely be one of them. There are no top contenders. There is no division. It is laughable to even call it a division. Balor and McDonagh interrupted. Balor says they are done jumping through hoops for him and they want their title shot. Pierce just said, I just saw you cheat against Sheamus. Styles interrupted and said, no. They don't deserve it, but let's keep things hot. So he asked Dragon Lee what he thought. He said, he is the heat and the fire, so next week, they'll show them that together they are unstoppable. Pierce confirmed that, you want the match? I'll give it to you. I'll do a few styles. It is official. So we got a rematch. It was a great match last week. I'm assuming they'll do a lot better in the second go-around, but there are no other teams. They have no other contenders. The only other team they have are the Judgment Day. That's it. Or the Viking Raiders or the New Day. No, nobody cares. Nobody cares about either one of those teams. We need fresh, new teams in the division. How we go about doing that, I don't know. All I know is that the day that WWE wanted to unify the titles, or ununify them, I should say, de-unify the titles, the day that they took the unified titles and split them into two titles was the worst decision the division has seen. I don't get it. Don't understand it. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkryia. Man, this felt like a go-home show, folks, because this ended in a way where it didn't really leave much for you to be excited about going into next week's show. I will say, though, this was a very entertaining match. And if we had more teams like this in the division, the women's tag team division might actually be something to keep an eye on. I wish we could clone Lyra and Bayley so we have 4 or 5 other teams like Bayley and Lyra, but we only have one Bayley and we only have one Lyra. This is defense number 5 for Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. All 4 of their defenses, I'm assuming, have come against... Actually, no, that's not true. 3 of them have been against the Secret Hervis. 1 has been against Sol Ruca and Zarya. And then this is the 5th one. You could see how great the division is blossoming and flourishing. 1 team from SmackDown, 1 team from NXT, and now 1 team from Raw. So Bliss and Bayley started out. Charlotte got a blind tag in and caught Bayley with a clothesline. Bliss got the tag in again and took Bayley down with a head scissor. Lyra and Charlotte tagged in. They faced off. First time ever. Lyra and Charlotte exchanged forearms. And we got arm ringers. Escape from the arm ringers. Lyra sent Flair to the floor and followed her out there with a drop kick through the ropes. Signature Lyra. After that, we go to a commercial break. Lyra was tying up with Bliss in a submission hold in the middle of the ring when we came back from the commercial, then transitioned into a seatbelt pin for a near fall. Bayley got the tag. Bayley held up Bliss in a fireman's carry so Lyra could hit a running blockbuster. Looked good. Bliss came back with a double DDT on both Bayley and Lyra. That looked good. Flair got the hot tag, came off the top with a crossbody. She chopped away at Bayley and Lyra. Fans were, woo! Flair hits a cartwheel clothesline. She then delivered a pair of fallaway slams, 1 for Bayley and 1 for Lyra. Then hit both of them with a moonsault. I am so glad that Charlotte has now decided to do an actual moonsault with the opponent laying on the floor in the ring. And I'll tell you what, it looks 1,000 times better. That moonsault off the top rope to the outside was fucking offensive in every way. I'm so glad that they fixed that. They noticed it was bad, and they made the appropriate change. It's so much better now. So much better. She actually connects with it. And it makes sense. I still like I still like when she does the Spanish Fly. I think she does a very good Spanish Fly, but this is also very good. So she got the moonsault. Charlotte went for a cover on Lyra. She got the shoulder up, kicks out at 2. Charlotte sent Bayley to the floor with a big boot. Lyra caught her with a leg lariat. Bayley is demanding the tag and yelling at Lyra, "Tag me in!" And she ran in to give Charlotte a knee. Bayley hits an elbow off the middle rope on Charlotte, drop kicked Alexa, and hit Charlotte with a Bayley to belly for a near fall. Charlotte then caught Bayley with a big boot. Bliss got the blunt tag. Lyra got the tag in, so now she's in. And Alexa does this thing. Lyra's in transition, and there was no move done. Alexa just countered something Lyra was doing and then transitioned into the Sister Abigail. She sits there. She stands there in the middle of the ring, and Lyra is selling for Alexa. She's in this hold, which, if you look at Alexa in the setup before the Sister Abigail, it's an easy way out. All you got to do is force your way out of there. There's nothing about it where you're trapped and you can't get out. Alexa is in this position where she's got Lyra in the setup for the Sister Abigail, and Alexa does this stupid shit where she waits there for a good 6 or 7 seconds, looking at the camera, looking at the hard cam, and she looks at the audience, and she's setting up and taking forever to set up Sister Abigail, and then she does it. Bro, just do the fucking move. What is with the wait? Just giving off this unrealistic feel. Like the opponent looks so fucking stupid waiting there in the hold before she actually delivers Sister Abigail. Like it's so easy for Lyra to get out and she just opts not to. Now, maybe I'm being a little too picky. Bray did the same thing, but, bro, we got to be a little bit more realistic, man. Honestly, that looks so fucking stupid. So stupid. I look at it and I get visibly angry, like, stop. Just stop, please. It looks awful. So, Sister Abigail, she goes for a cover. She gets a 2. Bayley made the save. She didn't kick out. Bayley made the save. Bayley and Charlotte fought on the floor. Bliss came off the top rope with a crossbody on Lyra. She got Nightwing on Alexa. Charlotte made the save. Now, apparently in the Nightwing, Lyra got her hair or something caught. Maybe something that she was wearing. They got stuck together. So Lyra, some piece of Lyra's hair or her outfit got stuck on Alexa's outfit after the Nightwing. Camera quickly cut away to Charlotte. They rolled to the outside. And thankfully, there was no wardrobe malfunction or anything that was too treacherous there. So they got themselves untangled. So after the Nightwing, Charlotte makes the save. Charlotte and Bayley get tagged in. Bayley hits a Thez press. Bayley and Charlotte brawled until Charlotte floored Bayley with a boot. Charlotte locked in the figure 8, which she never completely locked in. This was a figure 4 that Charlotte leveled up into a make-believe figure 8. She didn't even have the figure 8 applied. She didn't even have it locked in. She was missing the other half of her leg. But they sold it as a figure 8. I don't know what went wrong there. She did not fully apply this. Clear as day, this was not a fully applied figure 8. So she got the figure 8, quote unquote. Lyra kept Bayley from tapping out because Bayley wanted to tap out. So Lyra dives into the ring and grabs Bayley's hand and says, "Don't give up." She stops the arm from tapping out. Bliss came off the top rope with a twisted Bliss to nail Lyra off the top. Charlotte and Bliss then gave each other a nod and hit twin natural selections on both Bayley and Lyra. Charlotte then got the pinfall on Bayley, who were the legal women. 1, 2, 3, and they retained the women's tag team titles. Very good match outside of the possible malfunction there with Lyra getting stuck on Alexa. The stupid fucking bullshit with Alexa taking way too long to deliver Sister Abigail. Other than that, I thought this was a good match. And then the figure eight. The figure eight, which was not the figure eight. It was like half of a figure eight, figure four. She didn't have it fully applied. Outside that, it was a very good match. Crowd was into it. You got all four women here. Charlotte and Alexa work very good together. Bayley and Lyra are great. And they lost clean. After the match, the Kabuki Warriors ran in. They attacked the tag team champions. Asuka held Flair open for the insane elbow, which looked great. So Asuka and Kairi went after Lyra as well. Bayley stood them down, and the Kabuki Warriors backed away while Bayley attended to Lyra, and the tag team champions were selling on the floor after the attack by Asuka and Kairi, and that's the way the show went off the air. Again, not the most exciting ending. Doesn't really get you excited about what's to come next week. Clearly, the Kabuki Warriors are being set up for the tag team title match next for Charlotte and Alexa. Still no, we're 4 weeks away now for Survivor Series, or from Survivor Series, and we still don't really have a clear direction as to what the War Games matches are going to be. Now, it's either going to be the Vision and a conglomeration of baby faces from Raw, Roman, Punk, Usos, Knight, against the Vision and whoever makes up the Vision. We don't know. If not that, MFTs versus Wyatt 6 could be in the War Games for the men's side. The women. I predicted a few weeks ago, and then obviously people started running with it on social media. For the baby faces, Rhea Io, Bayley Lyra, and Stephanie Vaquer against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka. Actually, unless you want to include Becky and AJ, there's two variations we could go. If it's Team Becky versus Team AJ, I wouldn't mind that. I just don't find it to be a realistic option to do AJ Lee in a War Games match. Maybe she wants it. Maybe she's as crazy as her husband is. I don't know. If it's not AJ Lee, let's talk about what I had predicted. Bayley Lyra, Rhea Io, and Stephanie Vaquer on the babyface side against heels. It could be the Kabuki Warriors. It could be Judgment Day. And then maybe we get one other heel. Who that may be, I don't know. If Nikki Bella turns heel, maybe she joins the heel side. It could be another heel that we may not be thinking of. I could see also Becky leading a team of heels inside War Games. It could be the Kabuki Warriors, and it could be Judgment Day against AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bayley, and Lyra. That could also be the War Games match. But I think it's going to come off of Raw. It's definitely going to be from Monday Night Raw. SmackDown doesn't have, A, the interest, or B, the women's division, numbers-wise, to back up a women's War Games. Or the conflict, C. They don't have conflict over there. That would mean War Games. So it's definitely going to come off Raw. So I don't know. WWE is going to have to start dropping some hints soon. We're going to have to start dropping some hints soon on what those matches are going to be. We got 4 weeks to go. So we'll see what happens there. It's definitely going to be a mixture of either one of those two options. But I thought Raw was a very good pro wrestling show. Was it a good show? I would say it was a good show this week. As far as story, if you're looking for story, it just isn't there. I mean, they pieced some things together like the LA Knight and Braun Breaker thing and Paul Heyman getting Braun Breaker a match with LA Knight to eliminate him before he moves on and focuses on either Jey Uso or CM Punk. We got the Intercontinental title triple threat, which came about over weeks of television and Dominik cheating and taking the cheap way out. We got the Sheamus Judgment Day thing going on. And we got Punk and Jey Uso on Saturday. And then we got the Jimmy and Jey Uso stuff stemming from the Battle Royal, which kind of raised their tensions a little bit more. And Jey, who knows how he's feeling? Who knows how Jimmy is feeling? Does he believe Jey? Does Jey find himself being honest with Jimmy? Is he being honest with his brother? Is he being manipulated by Roman, but he's trying to play it off? He's playing both sides of the fence here. He loves Roman, he loves Jey. Who does he listen to? He doesn't know. He's conflicted. So they put a stop on some things. Hopefully it does pick up going into Survivor Series. Saturday night's main event should be good. And we'll be here to cover the week's festivities as we get into Saturday night's main event on Saturday. I'll be live after that show. Should be good. It's a loaded show. We got 2 championship matches, 2 big championship matches. Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes. 3 championship matches there with the men. The ladies championship is on the line. Jade versus Tiffany Stratton. We got 4 championship matches on Saturday night's main event. So it's going to be a big night. Start at the top here with Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. Good Monday, JD, OTS. Hope all is well. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Joey Taylor, 1995 with a $12 super chat. It should be Punk versus LA Knight for the World Heavyweight title. An underrated match you should watch. Again, JD. Adam Cole, Aleister Black, Extreme Rules, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia. That's a great fucking match. That's a great fucking match. That's a great fucking show. Love that takeover. Johnny Gargano versus Andrade, man. What a classic. Oof. Hardcore Kevin with a $5 super chat. I was at Raw tonight, so hope it was worth the $300. Also for Halloween, you and Solo should dress as the Ghostbusters for tomorrow's TNT. I don't know. I may wear my Grande Americano mask for tomorrow. We'll see. Friday, we're wearing the Penta mask. So Friday, I'm dressing up as Penta. Tomorrow, I may wear the Grande Americano mask. I don't know yet. Gotta watch to find out. And Kevin, only you know if it's worth $300, bro. If you had a good time, then I guess it's worth it. Stace with a $4.99. It's so sad Jay's getting pushed again and not the young man Omos. Listen, man, my Omos dislike has weakened over the last several years. I don't mind Omos. If they find a nice role for him where he doesn't need to wrestle all that often, I wouldn't mind it. Michelle Moran with a 2. What about Jay getting Roman to help him win Saturday? No. No, I don't think Roman shows up in Utah. Walker Stubbs with a $1.99. Seems like no one can get a clean win or a loss. Yeah, well. Pro wrestling promoters are afraid to beat their talent. Not shocking. Ass Eater Peter with a $5 super chat. You see any chance of someone going heel to win the title between Punk and Jey? Whatever happens, they need to crown Braun sooner rather than later. No one's going heel. I would love to see Cody Rhodes turn heel in a match against Punk at WrestleMania. It's a long shot. Twister, $12.96 with a $4.99. Raw wasn't a bad show, but my God, dude, I was absolutely bored today that I just wasn't interested in anything tonight. Bro, they didn't really give you anything but great pro wrestling. Now, that's fine, but at least there is some storyline progression weaved throughout the show. On Dynamite, you'll get some good wrestling, but there's no story. And you get more questions than answers. And they just don't know what the fuck they're doing over there. Robert Hurt with a 55 months, Robert. Thank you, brother. Hey, JD, when are we going to get some love for Randy Orton and some gold around his waist again? Listen, bro, I'm going Drew McIntyre to beat Cody Rhodes on Saturday. I'm hoping for a non-finish in the Jey Punk match. I'm going Rusev to win the IC title. Actually, you know what? I'm going Penta to win the IC title. And I'm going Jade Cargill to win the women's championship. It's crazy. Jade Cargill may be walking out of Utah as the new women's world champion. That would make Cody Rhodes the WWE champion, Jade Cargill the WWE women's champion, Ricky Starks the NXT men's world champion, and Mariah May the NXT North American women's champion, and Ethan Page the men's North American champion. If by what I just said happens, if Cody walks out of Saturday Night's Main Event still the champion, we'd have 5x AEW talent as world champions in WWE. 4 is still a good number if they want to give Drew McIntyre that title. Drew McIntyre has to win the title. He has to. Dark One with 4 months. The kittens are adorable. You're doing an amazing job fostering. Can you say hi to my fur baby? Her name is Mouse. Found as a baby on the street 16 years ago. Dark One, give my love to Mouse. I love it. Based CLC with a $4.99. I'm drinking the tears of the AEW sickos. Fuck the sickos. Ethan Nelson with a $4.99. Not sure what the plan is for LA Knight, but they just have him losing constantly. Giving him the ball and letting him run with it wouldn't hurt. Bro, a mini title run from this point on until maybe the end of the year would not have hurt LA Knight. I don't get it. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. I'm sorry, JD. Always here if you need to talk, bro. I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Just a sad day. I'll be fine tomorrow. Base CLC with a $4.99. I just tweeted at House of Glory, JD, you need your job back. Screw what the neckbeards say. Mercedes Moné is the most overrated female in 2025. Overrated. Mercedes is great at what she does in the ring. I think she's a great... I've always thought she's a great pro wrestler. This is no secret to anybody. The character is garbage. The direction of her character is shit. And the fact that she has no story in anything she does is awful. She's brought zero attention and zero hype to AEW, and I don't think she's worth the money that she's making. Antonio Rivera with a $10 super chat. I love your takes on wrestling, brother. I have a disability, and growing up, I used to hide the fact that I was a wrestling fan, but thanks to you and the community, I'm glad to say I love pro wrestling. Brother, never hide your love for what you love, man. You be as open as fuck with that shit. Well, I have absolutely no hesitation, man. When I'm in the Mustang and I'm driving to fucking the supermarket, windows are down no matter what time of the year. I'm blasting my music, man, because I want people to know who the fuck I am. Because it's me. I have every right to do that. I love it. Never hide what you love, brother. Just fucking shout that shit from the top of the mountain. Hollywood guy with a $10 super chat. JD, I could see Rusev winning the belt, the IC belt, and continuing his rivalry with Sheamus. Give Sheamus some wins so he can face Rusev for the belt at Survivor Series or WrestleMania and give Sheamus the win. Yes, I like that idea. Will they do that? I don't know. We will see. I wonder if anything is going to happen with the IC title and John Cena. Maybe. I know they wanted John Cena and Dominik to wrestle. The rumor is John Cena and Dominik at Survivor Series. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Caden with 13 months. 13 months in this amazing community. Roxy looked 10 out of 10 tonight. She always looks like a 10 in my opinion. Roxy versus AJ Lee IC title at Mania. That's the vision. I like it. I like that idea. Hitman. Do you see WWE waiting to crown Sami Zayn until 27 in Saudi against maybe a Breaker or McIntyre? Love you, brother. Keep killing it. Possibly. Possibly. Caden with a $1.99. Who would you have Jordan feud with on the main roster first? I don't know. That's a good question. SmackDown needs all the help that she can get, or it can get. And they could certainly use Jordan. I put her on the main roster and honestly, you're gonna laugh at me. I'd have her feud with Nia Jax. Show off what she can do. Lift that Nia up and slam her down. Show her strength. I think that'll work. Louis Garibay with a $4.99. Hey JD, do you see CM Punk leaving Raw and moving to SmackDown permanently somewhere in 2026? I'd love to see him versus Cody. Plus SmackDown needs it. Yes, I do. How we get there, I don't know. He may win the chamber and just end up on SmackDown just that way. We'll figure it out. But thank you guys very much, man. That's all we got. It's been been a light night on Super Chats. It's been a light month on Super Chats. You guys, your attention's elsewhere, man. Your attention ain't on the shows, and it certainly ain't on the streams, but the shows aren't good, so. Thank you guys for a great night. Hopefully you guys were entertained. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. And sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's stream. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And go check out all the other content on the channel. We'll be live tomorrow night, TNT episode 118 with the Solid Monster. Right here on this channel, 8:30 Eastern. You guys know where to find us. TNT tomorrow night with the Solid Monster. Tuesday Night Titans. I'll see you guys later.